A passenger bill of rights for New Jersey Transit riders would force Amtrak to pay up for long service delays and cancellation.
The All Aboard Act, which was proposed by New Jersey Congressman Josh Gottheimer, also calls for a meeting with Amtrak officials and Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. So Congressman Gottheimer joining us this morning to discuss what it will take to get this bill passed. So Congressman, good morning to you. Thanks for being here.
Hey, great to see you. Thanks for having me.
So a lot of support for the All Aboard Act, right? Ever since you announced it on Monday. What will it take to get it actually passed, and what exactly is it?
Well, listen, I think, as you know, this has been a summer of hell for a lot of people who take New Jersey Transit and take trains in the region, stuck sometimes hours at end. There was one for 3 hours last week. Totally unacceptable. As you know, people are incredibly and rightly so frustrated. You know, taking a train from Glen Rock, where I was the other day, into New York every day will cost you more than $21 round trip a day. So it's not cheap, as you know, right? We got to make this stuff more affordable. But for $21 a day, you shouldn't have to sit and wait and hope you get home at night to see your kids or get to work in the morning. So the All Aboard Act is all about a passenger bill of rights, right? To making sure that you've got this for the airlines. Why don't we have a train bill of rights for passengers? And that's what we focused on. And the main issue, of course, and I can talk about others, the main issue is that refund. If you're stuck for more than 3 hours, like the airlines, you should get a refund. But also, really, the most important thing, and I'm working closely with Amtrak on this and New Jersey Transit, is actually getting it fixed and making those investments that we've allocated resources from the infrastructure bill, which I helped write and negotiate and pass, get those dollars out to Amtrak, out to New Jersey Transit.
Yeah, well, New Jersey Transit and Amtrak are trying to address those issues, right? Trying to address the delays, adding additional buses along the service routes. Amtrak, they're investing $6 billion to improvements along the Northeast corridor and mostly in New Jersey. So how do you respond to that? You believe that's
no? Listen, that's all good and great. Like, listen, those are we've clawed back from Washington to Jersey, and we want to get those dollars out the door. I've even said we need more resources because if we ignored the train and the rails for decades, right? We've been putting Band-Aids on them. You look at other countries, if you've seen how they run their rails, and it's key to our economy. We've got 20% of the economy of the United States running through that Northeast corridor. And the fact is, our train system just isn't where it should be. You know, and New Jersey Transit pays Amtrak $100 million a year to use the physical rails that they ride on, right? The actual rails and those catenary cables, the cables above, and they keep breaking, right? And you know, the problem is we're putting Band-Aids on them, and I appreciate that Amtrak's investing, but we need to go faster. We need to put more resources, and we're behind overall. And as a result, you know, in June, 657 New Jersey Transit trains were canceled. 457 of those, according to New Jersey Transit, were an issue because of Amtrak, that they were canceled, right? So a lot of these issues are solvable if we're smart and we make investments and we do the right thing. You know, that's the key.
Yeah.
So how long for this to get to a vote, right? Because, and what if it does pass, are there loopholes? I mean, look at the airlines, you mentioned them, right? And it's like, well, you get an act of God, so that's the storm, and so that we can't give you the refund because it's an act of God. So how does it kind of all play out?
Well, you're right that, listen, these things are tough to get through, but I'll tell you, I've heard from Democrat and Republican colleagues in the last days. We've been working on this legislation for some time. I've heard from so many people say, we got to do this, right? This is just, you can't let people sit for hours. Yeah. Obviously there should be some accountability measures here. If without accountability, things just won't get done. And so that's what the All Aboard Act is all about, that accountability, and also looking at how we run our rails. You know, right now, there's Amtrak takes an approach which is called run to fail, meaning that, you know, because they don't have enough resources, and they've said this publicly, they just don't have enough resources, things go past the expiration date. You know, like on your milk, there's the expiration date. A lot of their stuff goes past the expiration date. It doesn't fail per se, but it basically goes past the time when you should use it. And so as a result, these things start to break, right?
Okay.
And things start to fail. And we've got to make sure we do something about this. It's key to our economy. It's key to people getting to see their kids' Little League games at the end of the day, get a doctor's appointment, you name it. We've got to make sure this works. And I appreciate all the alternatives they're providing, New Jersey Transit and Amtrak, to help people. But people are very frustrated, you know, and rightly so.
So is there any kind of a meeting date, though, with the Amtrak officials?
So we have, I I've got more. I'm meeting with, I believe, the deputy secretary. Have a call later this week. We're talking. I continue to talk to New Jersey Transit. I talked to the chairman of Amtrak this week. So we're working the problem. The New Jersey delegation has made it very clear, along with our governor, that we've got to address this problem. Our state legislature, with our governor, invested more into New Jersey Transit repairs this year in the budget, which is key. We've got great workers on the rails. Everyone deserves better, and that's kind of the bottom line. That's what the All Aboard Act's all about.
Okay.
That's what the Passenger Bill of Rights is all about. Let's get this stuff fixed. Let's not delay. No bureaucracy. Let's just get it done.
All right, let's keep us posted on how that all plays out. I got to ask you about a headline that Axios had. It said Gottheimer strongly considering New Jersey governor run. Something you told them in an interview apparently earlier in the week. So tell us, are you considering this run for governor?
Well, as I said, I'm strongly considering it, and honored by so many folks who've come out and asked me to, throw my hat in the ring. But right now, as you know, what we're focused on is winning big in 24. We've got to make sure that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz bring it home big. We've got people up and down the ballot in Jersey. We've got big races. So that's what we're focused on right now.
No official announcement until post-November.
I'm focused on November, but definitely considering it.
All right, well, make sure that once you're done considering it and you decide that that's in fact what you're going to do, make sure you come back here.
Don't you love that we do this to you? Every time you come on, I mean, for the past 2 years, I've been asking you these questions.
By the way, you're like, you run to fail. You never stop. I love it.
Never. No, it's just
which is great.
Yeah. Good to see you. We'll talk to you soon, all right?
Yeah, bye.